Hello everyone and welcome to Fat 50 and Running a Marathon, a channel dedicated to health, diet, fitness, and goal achievement. I'm your humble host Topher, and I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, share your thoughts, opinions, and relatable stories in the comments section. This is the Thick or Thin Thursday video for the 21st of November, 2024. This channel's name reflects my failure to achieve a goal. This video series reflects what I'm learning from that failure. Soon I'll have that committed to memory and I won't have to look down in order to read that. Sorry about last week, but we did do the Slip Up Saturday video. My takeaway from that video, honestly, is that I did not even employ the smallest of the tiniest habits. I did not tiny habit myself, so that is my thin here. I'm talking about the fact that I failed to thin, or the fact that my thin is that I failed to employ the tiniest of habits. This past week I had to read without an audiobook accompanying, and that was, it was only one book that I have to mention this week. That is 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. You probably know him best as the guy who founded PayPal. And anyway, so it's a good book about moving from absolute stasis to the next step, and how important it is to move from stasis, stationary, static, meaning non-movement, to movement. And that's just the greatest takeaway I could possibly take from that book. But it's a good book, particularly for entrepreneurs, and if you're looking to advance in that respect or open a business. So let's. I don't have a whole lot more to report from that. I did show a new garden video, and that was a short. And gardening is we're making some progress here today. I actually acquired 3 avocado seedlings that have taken root in some soil, and when it comes time to remove them from their container and separate them and put them in their own respective containers, believe me, there'll be a video about that, but that will be coming in the spring, and that will be part of the gardening series. So I'm really looking forward to that, and that's where I'm headed next with gardening. And when we do the next round of composting, which is going to be very soon, actually it should be probably before the month is out, I expect to be able to do the next round of composting. Enough material accumulation to do the next round of composting. I will bring I will bring the camera out and we will go through that, and I'll show you more about that, because I feel like composting is something we all should be doing. So, which brings me now to my conclusion of this video, which is to ask you the question of the week. And in order to do that, I need to illustrate what I was experiencing and what the question means, essentially. So, when I was on my way to pick up my goddaughter from school the other day, and I was trying to get there as close to the time that she walks out the door as possible, and I'm looking at the clock in the car, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm driving, and I'm looking at it, and I'm driving, and suddenly it occurred to me that no matter what, because of that particular time of day, I wasn't going to get up the road any faster. I'm not an unsafe driver, so I don't speed anyway. But even if I wanted to, it's physically impossible at that time of day. I'm going past a highway in order to get to her, and it makes it impossible during roughly around the lunch hour that I would be picking her up to move past there. And I realized this is a prime example of me looking at a watch when I have absolutely zero control over how quickly the process can take place. And when this first occurred to me was when I was living in New York. And I would be sitting on a train, and I would be looking at my watch and like thinking, ugh, when am I going to get there? When am I going to get there? And I think to myself, you're going to get there when you get there, because you can't make this train move any faster. If I was driving a car, maybe I could weave in and out of traffic. There's certain things I could do. But on the train, I was completely at the mercy of the New York City transit system. So, and I started to equate what I was doing, looking at my watch during my train ride, as almost comparable to a watched pot never boiling. Like I was never going to get there if I kept looking at my watch. The same way that a watched pot eventually will boil, regardless. You can sit there and stare at it. Eventually, it's going to boil if you put it under water. But the expression, a watched pot never boils, I think really applied to that situation just as well. I was never going to make it to my destination if I kept looking at my watch to see what time it was. And I was never going to make it. It wasn't going to make any difference whether I looked at the car's clock and saw what time it was. I was going to get there to pick up my goddaughter when I was going to get there to pick her up. So my question to you is, what is your watched pot? What pot are you currently watching and you're keeping it from boiling? or it's going to boil regardless of whether you watch it or not, however you want to look at it. But my question to you this week is, what is your watched pot? So, there you have it. And I thank you for watching, and remember, until next time, only by taking care of ourselves first are we capable of taking care of others. Topher.